this game, get on it now. Because it's Milan versus Fiorentina. It's Milan at -160, Milan -1, +110. That was going to be appealing to so many of you. Fiorentina at +475, no thank you. Draw at +295, no thank you. Look to the bottom right-hand corner, and you've got Fiorentina not to score in this game at +145. I see Milan keeping a clean sheet. You could have Milan win to 0, but then I worry about the nerves of actually lifting the title and taking one step closer. Mina, I believe that Milan win the game, so you've got +110 as a free hit, but I prefer to have Fiorentina not scoring at +145.
Do you know the reverse fixture? Fiorentina scored 4.
I know, I do.
But they did have Vlahovic, and
yeah.
that difference.
And at home, they went through that spell of blitzing everyone. Even when they weren't winning, they were by far the better team at home.
Yeah, that is true. And they have really, really been suffering at the moment, Fiorentina. They've lost their last 3 in a row in all competitions. They lost, obviously, to Juventus in the Coppa Italia, then, of course, to Salernitana, which got me the big win, and again to Udinese, which was bizarre because they're at home and usually they're very good at home. But the thing with Fiorentina is that they are sort of an emotional team. And right now they had absences that they had to contend with the likes of Lucas Torreira not being there, Iconi being played out of position as well, which proved problematic. They don't necessarily have the striker that can really match up to what Vlahovic. I mean, they definitely don't have the striker that Vlahovic was. And right now there's not enough goals coming from Piontek and Cabral, etc., etc. Having said all of that, I cannot at all imagine for the life of me that Vincenzo Italiano, their coach, isn't going through like an existential crisis at the moment. And I don't know whether he's just going to allow his team to roll over. I feel like this game will be so intensely prepared for, and they will not want to walk away without providing a really tough challenge because his name and reputation is on the line. He's very much considered the next big thing in Italian football, and he's got to prove that. So he can't just lose again for the 4th time in a row. Milan, we saw their struggles when it comes to scoring goals, and you can't rely on Ibrahimovic, and Giroud is very predictable in their style of play. So he still scores the goals, which is effective, but of course you hope Milan win because they want to stay in the race. But Fiorentina is always that dodgy opponent that you never know whether they're brilliant or downright awful. But away from home, they're usually downright awful.
Yeah, I don't expect 3 goals neither, so I'd probably go under the 2.5 as well at plus money. But Matty, what are your numbers telling me? Although the numbers in this instance are a little bit shady because we've got Milan who are going to get nervous if they get up, and they've got to make sure they keep the back door closed. Fiorentina have just been beaten by the worst side in Serie A for the last 20 years, and then get beat 4-0 at home against Udinese, who have not scored 4 in one game, well, since 1962.
Look,
so.
Flash, after getting burned on this Fiorentina under yesterday, I mean, I don't think you could talk me into playing this under 2.5 tomorrow. But, I mean, it does have good numbers. I mean, the over 2.5 is only graded at 44%. But I'm going to completely flip the angle, and I am taking an over for this game, but it's going to be in the first half. I'm just taking first half over 1. It's been a good play for Milan, especially at home, really all season. The last 3 times these teams have played, there have been 2 goals in the first half. And at least 1 goal in the first half in 5 out of the last 6 meetings. And it's just been a good play for Milan at home all season. I think it's safe. I'm just going to take the first half over 1 goal and hope that somebody scores twice in this first half. But I think it's pretty likely that we'll see at least 1 in this first half. I don't know how I feel about Fiorentina not scoring. They haven't scored in 2 of their last 3 games, right? But they've been giving up a lot of goals. That's why I don't really have an opinion on this total. I kind of do feel like Fiorentina should score in this game. But obviously all the value is on them not to score. So I could see this really going either way. And kind of that's why I'm only going to swing on a first half play here. I don't really have a strong opinion.
They do have some players back which can help them defensively, the likes of Lucas Torreira and Bonaventura, who can hold possession as well and give them some respite. So that might be interesting because I feel like they've been very exposed defensively because of all the absences that they've had. They really don't know how to cope without Lucas Torreira. And that's why Milinkovic has been put in positions that he hasn't really managed to excel at because he's exposed all the time. So I'm interested to see, but I still think Fiorentina could get a goal. It's just that there's not much value on that.
There's a lot of value on them not scoring, though, Mina. So we don't like that type of chat. Foxy, minus 160. Says he doesn't normally go anywhere near minus 150s, but thinks the way to go is just Milan to win. The problem you get with Milan is they get very frustrated, and then the crowd get very frustrated. They all get very nervy. I've sat through these Milan games, and I've got to wait maybe to the last 10 minutes for them to score. Obviously, we're cheering on Matty for them scoring in the first half, but I'm just going to go with them being so rock solid to not even give Fiorentina an edge. So that if they do take 80 minutes to score, they're going to go 1-0 up. Let's have a little look at the official picks. Bookings is the best bet in this one. Now, Flippy on the beat. Okay. I've got Fiorentina under 0.5 at plus 145, and first half over 1 at minus 130. I mean, that's a risky one, that, because unless Milan are like 2-0 up.